Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It is the Kevin Jackson Show. Glad to be with you. So everybody is upset with Donald Trump because he has struck a deal with the Democrats. And essentially what Donald Trump did was he said, if the Republicans won't come to the table, then Democrats will have to do. Effectively, he's made politics a free market political competition, and there are people out there on the right who are mad about this. Government has to go on. Donald Trump is a realist. He's saying, you know what? It's going to go on. If they don't want to come to the table, I'll sit down with the enemy. I'll see what the enemy's willing to give up. I'll get my negotiation going. Then I'll go back to these other guys. What you're witnessing, folks, is genius. Now, it doesn't always mean it's going to go our way. But for people to just go lose their minds over this, it's crazy. What do you expect? You have two factions that don't like President Trump. The Republicans don't like him just as much as the Democrats. So the idea that they're working with him is ridiculous. He's saying, look, I got two sides that don't, there's 2 against 1 here. What do you think's happening? And it isn't the Republicans supporting the president against the Democrats. It's the Democrats and the Republicans, the establishment. Just call it the establishment is against Donald Trump. And people are losing their minds. He's raising the debt ceiling. He's raising the debt ceiling so government can go on. And he's also negotiating for tax reform and a host of other things. Let me ask you this. I'll put it to you this way. What has Donald Trump done that you go, man, that's just awful? He's fighting against refugee resettlement. He's fighting against immigration, illegal immigration. He's fighting against the foreign policy issues of Barack Obama, the legacy issues of Barack Obama. He's undoing all the unjust, stupid legislations that have curtailed business. He's fighting against Obamacare and a host of other things. What more do you want? If you got a guy in there who's fighting for you, he's got to eventually see what the enemy wants. But we have people losing their minds. And I mean, over every single, it's like, guys, grow up, wake up and grow up. Let the man do his job. But boy, people are so quick to turn. And it's funny. Let's say that there's 9 things you like about Trump and 1 thing you don't. You know what conservatives do? They lose their ever-loving minds and they're, oh my gosh, well, I can't stand Donald Trump. If it's that easy for you to abandon your people, the person that you've had faith in a week ago, why do you think we don't get ahead? You don't even know his strategy. Just being honest, most people they haven't even given 2 seconds of thought. I mean, look, it's my job to think about strategy. And I can't tell you with certainty I know his strategy. So all I can do is I can base it on his actions. He's talked about building a wall. You think he's going to do it? I've seen the government going out for bid on it. I suspect it's going to happen. He's talked about illegal immigration. He undid DACA, which was illegal to begin with, and the idea of putting it back into Congress, that's where it was supposed to go. So what are we talking about? We're now talking about immigration reform. What more do you want? We weren't even talking about illegal immigration until Trump made the comment that the Mexicans are sending over their drug dealers and their sex traffickers or whatever, and then he took the bullets. How many other Republicans have you known that are willing to go out there and take these bullets? He talked about rescinding Obamacare. Did he try? Yeah. Who's he up against? You think he's got people on his side? You think Paul Ryan and McConnell are fighting for Trump? If they were fighting for Trump, he would be walking through legislation. The dude would be in a freaking Hugh Hefner robe walking through the Congress, the halls of Congress or the White House. That's how easy things would be for him. He'd be in a smoking jacket and, with a cigarette in one of those little extenders, with his pinky out and the martini in his hand. This is political genius, what this guy's doing. And while America's playing checkers, this dude is playing chess. If it goes the way that it's supposed to go, and I think it will. You think Trump is so unbridled and unprincipled that he's going to believe Schumer now? Look. When we get into immigration, I'm going to talk about that here in a bit. I will play for you clips of the Democrats supporting Donald Trump's stance on immigration. And the only reason I'm not saying when it was Trump, the only reason why they aren't supporting it now is because of Donald Trump. Who's he going to win over? You think Paul Ryan and those people are really willing to go at this? Paul Ryan is an obstructionist. I'm not blaming him for everything. Some of these things that get reported about him are lies. For example, he never stood up for Antifa. We thought he did, and then we researched it, and he never said that. That was a lie. Somebody posted a meme, and that was the end of it. But a lot of these other things, he is guilty of. It's come out of his own mouth. So this idea that Trump has struck a deal with the Democrats, folks, get over it. He struck a deal with people in government who, unfortunately, he must deal with in order to keep the government running. But when it comes time to negotiate on principled issues, who do you think's going to stand his ground? Trump or Bush? Bush 1, Bush 2? I mean, who's out there fighting for us? Seriously fighting for us. Doesn't give a crap what the left says. Doesn't give a crap about what his public opinion is about him one way or the other. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump doesn't have to win the next election in 2018 or 2020 to go down in history. He is historical. His job is done. That should make you feel good. A billionaire whose job is done. If Donald Trump decides he's going to quit the presidency tomorrow, he's historic in every way. So if you think he's got some skin in the game, oh, I'm going to go out there and do something he's doing what he's doing because he really genuinely wants to improve things for America. What more could you want from a guy? I'm sick of everybody, Kevin, look at your guy now. Look at what are you talking about? Look at what? He's backing away on immigration. No, he's not. To even believe that, I'm just telling you, if you believe that, you're too easily led. He's saying, give it to Congress. I'll give it to Congress. I'll let them take the bullet. But he doesn't have to sign it. There's a lot. He can veto whatever he wants. He's got certain powers that he can use. And he's already showing his influence. And all he has to have is your backing. God, I got to tell you, it upsets me because I'm a guy. I had one of my buddies call me the other night, and he said to me point blank, this is a very wealthy man. He said to me point blank, Kevin, he goes, it's a shame we haven't been in better touch. He knows it was his fault. He blamed me, but it was a joke. But he says, I got to tell you, dude, you are true blue. You have backed me no matter what. And I said, what else would I do? Do you know how many people can say that about somebody, that they can look at their lives and say, this is a person I know will come to battle for me? How about you let Trump have that feeling about us for a bit?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.